Okay, so today we're going to be working on 4.3, which is solving multi-step inequalities. This is just building upon, we started with solving one-step inequalities, then we worked up to two-step inequalities, and now we're at multi-step inequalities. Don't forget, again, that don't call me after midnight still applies even though we're doing inequalities. We use that with equations, but it's still going to apply. So let me give you an example of how this works. Let's say that we have 3x minus 7, and we're saying that it's less than 8. Okay, so we've always told you that you should add or subtract first, okay? Because we don't have anything to distribute, we don't have anything to combine like terms, we don't have any, we're not able to move the symbol to the other side because it's attached to things, so we need to add or subtract. So first we're going to add 7 to both sides, and that's going to give us 15 over here. We're going to bring down our inequality sign. This cancels, and we're left with 3x. Now, since we want x by itself, we want to isolate x. 3 is being multiplied by x, so we need to do the opposite, which is the inverse operation is division. So we're going to divide by 3 on both sides. These will cancel. We're left with x is less than 5. Now, let me just draw a straight line here. Okay, go back to our tool. Of course, we'd have our arrows on the ends. Now, I always tell my students, don't make it from 0 to 10 and negative 10. Just make it simple. So we're going to start with 5 there, maybe 6 and 7, here 4 and 3. Okay, since this inequality sign does not have a line underneath it, I can put an open circle at 5. Now, this is saying x has to be less than 5. Well, less than 5 is in this direction. Now, if I want to cheat, since my variable's on the left-hand side, I could draw an arrow just to double check that I drew my arrow in the correct way. All right, let's try another one. This one is a little more complicated. So 14x plus 5 is less than 7 times 2x minus 3. Okay, so again, over here, don't call me after, where's my C? There we go. Okay, so let's go ahead and distribute first. So I'm going to take this 7 and multiply it in here. And 7 times 2 gives me 14x. Then 7 times negative 3 is going to give me negative 21. And then we bring down our sign, 14x plus 5. Okay, now I'm going to subtract the, let's see, double checking something here. Okay, I'm going to subtract my 14x because I want to get my variables on the same side. So I subtract the 14x from both sides, and as you can see, my variables are all canceling. And I'm left with 5 is less than negative 21. So you have to ask yourself, is 5 less than negative 21? And since it is not true, we would write no solution. Okay, let's try one more. With this one, we're going to do negative 1 over 4 times p minus 12 is greater than negative 2. Okay, so I don't like messing with the fractions, so I'm going to go ahead and multiply by 4 over 1 negative, since this is right here. And over here, I'm going to multiply by a negative 4 over 1 also. Now keep in mind, I multiplied across the inequality sign by a negative. And our rule is that if you multiply or divide by a negative and do it across the inequality sign, that you have to flip the sign. So, but we'll get to that. So for right now, 2 negatives become a positive, and these 4s are going to cancel. So I'm left with p minus 12. I'm going to flip my sign because I multiplied by the negative, and now I have 8. Now it becomes a little more simple. All I have to do is add 12 to both sides. What I do to one side, I have to do to the other. 8 plus 12 gives me 20. Bring down my sign. That cancels, and p is less than 20. So that's very easy to graph. We could do a quick little one here. 20, put 21, and then 19. Oops. Okay, since this does not have a line underneath, I'm going to use an open circle. It's less than, so I'm going to point in this direction. Now the other thing I want to discuss is translating a verbal sentence into an inequality. So if we have a verbal sentence that says 3 more than, I'm just going to write this out, 3 more than 2 times a number x is greater than 27. And students have a lot of trouble with translating those into algebraic phrases. But 3 more than, the more than, okay, is not asking you for an inequality sign. It's simply saying it's addition. So, and then when we look over here, 2 times a number, well, I'm going to assign that number r. So 2 times r, and I need 3 more than that. So I'm going to add 3. And that has to be greater than 27. Okay? So that's where your greater than comes in with your inequality. Then you just subtract the 3, subtract the 3. We end up with 24 and 2r. Now here you could use mental math. 2 times what is going to give me 24, but I'm going to divide by 2 like I should. And r is greater than 12. So again, graphing it, there's 12. Here's 13, and here's 11. Again, since there's no line underneath, I'm going to put an open circle here. Now r has to be greater than 12, so I'm going to draw my line this way. And you could also cheat, and since r is on the left-hand side, you could draw your arrow that way.